You clicked because you want one simple thing, the number one best meal that helps unclog your arteries, backed by science, without gimmicks, without exotic supplements, and without living on lettuce. Let me start by saying the quiet truth most people won't tell you. Your arteries don't clog like a kitchen sink, and no meal on earth power washes plaque out of a blood vessel overnight. But here's the good news, the kind of good news that actually changes lives. Your arteries do respond to signals, every day. And there is one type of meal that hits the biggest, most proven levers we have for improving artery health, lowering LDL cholesterol, calming inflammation, improving the inner lining of your blood vessels, and reducing the sticky environment that makes plaque grow and rupture. That's what people mean when they say unclog. They mean slowing plaque progression, stabilizing what's already there, and improving blood flow by restoring how your vessels function. And if you're in your late 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond, if you care about staying independent, steady on your feet, sharp in your thinking, and out of the hospital, this matters more than almost any fitness trend you've ever seen. Because heart attacks and strokes aren't just events. They're often the moment someone loses confidence, loses independence, or loses the life they built. I don't want that for you. I'm Dr. Helen Marlowe. I've spent 15 years taking care of adults and older adults, and I've watched people transform their blood pressure, their cholesterol, and their energy with changes that look almost boring until you realize how powerful they are when you actually do them consistently. Quick note before we go further, this is education, not personal medical advice. If you're on blood thinners, insulin, medications for blood pressure, or you have kidney disease, talk with your clinician before making big diet shifts, especially if you're changing leafy greens, potassium-rich foods, or fiber rapidly. Now, let's make this simple and practical. In the next few minutes, you'll understand why the artery meal works, exactly what to put on the plate, how to make it taste good, what mistakes cancel the benefits, and what you can expect to feel today, this week, and over the next couple of months. And at the end, I'll give you the one extra move that makes this meal hit harder than it has any right to. It takes 10 minutes, it's free, and most people ignore it because it sounds too easy. First, let's break the biggest myth. The myth is, it's all genetics, or it's just age, or it's just salt, or it's just cholesterol. That's why people feel helpless. They think the story is already written. But your arteries aren't passive pipes. They're living tissue, lined with a delicate inner layer called the endothelium. Think of the endothelium like the smooth, intelligent skin inside your blood vessels. When it's healthy, it releases substances that help your vessels relax, keeps blood flowing smoothly, and resists inflammation. When it's irritated by high blood sugar spikes, by smoking, by chronic stress, by poor sleep, by excess LDL particles, by ultra-processed fats, your vessels become stiff, reactive, and inflamed. And that's when plaque forms, grows, and becomes dangerous. So the real frame is not, how do I scrape plaque out? The real frame is, how do I change the environment inside my body so plaque stops growing, becomes more stable, and my vessels regain flexibility? That's what lowers risk. That's what protects your brain, your heart, and your future. I'll tell you a quick scene I've seen more times than I can count. Someone comes in and says, "Doc, I don't eat that bad. I cut salt. I use low-fat everything. I don't even eat eggs anymore." And yet their cholesterol is still high, their blood pressure is creeping up, and they feel tired. Then we look closer. Breakfast is a sweet cereal or toast, lunch is a sandwich with healthy bread, dinner is pasta or rice with a little protein, and snacks are crackers, juice, or granola bars. It's not that they're bad, it's that the pattern keeps the bloodstream in a constant, low-grade state of insulin and inflammation, while fiber is low and protective fats are missing. That's the environment plaque loves. So the goal is one meal that flips that environment in the other direction. Now I'm going to give you the number one best meal. It's not a single magic ingredient. It's a combination that has been shown again and again to move the numbers and improve the vessel function that actually predicts outcomes. I call it the Mediterranean Portfolio Bowl because it blends two of the most evidence-backed dietary patterns for heart health: a Mediterranean style, extra virgin olive oil, nuts, legumes, vegetables, and the portfolio concept of stacking cholesterol-lowering foods in one place. Here is the meal in plain language: a warm base of steel-cut oats or barley, topped with a generous scoop of lentils or beans, a big pile of leafy greens and colorful vegetables, a handful of walnuts, a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, and a flavor spark from garlic, herbs, and a splash of vinegar or lemon. If you want an optional protein, you add a small portion of sardines or salmon on the side, or you keep it fully plant-based. And you finish with berries or citrus, not a sugary dessert. I know it sounds unusual to put beans near oats, but stay with me. This isn't a restaurant dish. This is a therapeutic plate. It's designed to do 4 jobs at once: lower LDL, improve blood vessel relaxation, feed your gut bacteria in a way that reduces inflammation, and keep blood sugar stable. Those 4 jobs are what help plaque stop acting like a ticking time bomb. Let's make the science feel real. Imagine plaque as a construction site inside an artery wall. LDL particles deliver cholesterol that can get trapped and modified. Inflammation recruits immune cells that try to clean it up, but they can turn into foam cells and make the plaque bigger. Over time, plaque can become stable with a thicker cap, or unstable with a fragile cap that can rupture. A rupture is what often triggers a heart attack or stroke. So the mission is not just lower cholesterol. The mission is reduce the delivery of excess LDL particles, reduce inflammatory signals, and support the vessel lining so blood flow stays smooth. This meal does that with 3 main tools. Tool 1 is viscous soluble fiber. That's the kind of fiber that forms a gel in your digestive tract. It binds bile acids, helps remove cholesterol from the body, and has a consistent LDL lowering effect when eaten regularly. Oats, specifically their beta-glucan, are one of the best sources, and the evidence shows meaningful cholesterol reductions when you hit the right dose consistently. Tool 2 is unsaturated fats and polyphenols. Extra virgin olive oil and walnuts are the stars here. These support healthier lipid profiles and have been shown to improve aspects of vascular function. Tool 3 is legumes and vegetables: lentils, beans, greens, onions, garlic, because they bring more fiber, minerals, and plant compounds, and they lower the glycemic punch of a meal, so you don't get that post-meal sugar and insulin surge that irritates the endothelium. Here's the most important mindset shift. You're not eating this meal to be good. You're eating it to send a chemical message. Food is information. Every time you eat ultra-processed starch with sugar and refined oils, you send one message: store, inflame, stiffen. Every time you eat a high-fiber, unsaturated fat, polyphenol-rich meal, you send a different message: clear, relax, stabilize. And your body listens. Now, how do you make this meal in real life, in under 10 minutes most days? Start with the simplest version. If you have time, cook steel-cut oats or barley in batches, 2 or 3 days at once, so it's ready. If you don't, use plain rolled oats, not the flavored packets, plain. Cook it with water or an unsweetened milk if you like. While that's warming, open a can of lentils or beans, rinse them, and heat them for 1 minute. In a bowl, add a big handful of spinach or arugula, greens you don't need to cook. Add chopped tomatoes, cucumber, or roasted peppers if you have them. Spoon in your warm oats or barley as the base. Add the warm lentils. Then add your artery fat, a small handful of walnuts, about a 1/4 cup, or what fits in the palm of your hand, and a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil drizzled over everything. Add flavor, a pinch of salt if you need it, black pepper, oregano, and a crushed garlic clove or garlic powder. Then the key: a tablespoon of vinegar, red wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, or just lemon juice. That's it. If you want fish, add a small tin of sardines or a portion of salmon on the side. If that's not your style, skip it. The meal still works. And for dessert, if you want something sweet, use berries. Not a muffin, not juice. Berries. They're sweet, but they're packaged with fiber and plant compounds, and they don't hit the bloodstream the same way. Let's talk about who this is for. If you're over 55, if your LDL is creeping up, if your A1C is borderline, if your blood pressure is trending upward, if you've been told you have plaque, or if heart disease runs in your family, this is for you. If you're already on a statin, this is still for you, because medication and lifestyle are not enemies, they're teammates. If you're on blood thinners like warfarin, be consistent with leafy greens rather than swinging wildly day to day, because vitamin K can affect dosing. If you have advanced kidney disease, you may need guidance on potassium and phosphorus, because beans and certain foods can be higher. And if you're on insulin or certain diabetes medications, improving meal quality can change your glucose needs, so keep an eye on your readings and talk with your clinician. This isn't about fear, it's about using your tools responsibly. Now let me explain why each piece matters, in plain English. Oats or barley are the sponge. Their soluble fiber helps trap bile acids, which are made from cholesterol. When your body has to replace those bile acids, it pulls more cholesterol out of circulation. That's one of the ways LDL goes down. But there's another layer. Soluble fiber also feeds gut bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids, which can influence cholesterol production and inflammation. Lentils and beans are the brakes. They add more fiber and resistant starch, which slows digestion and reduces the post-meal glucose spike. They also provide plant protein, which supports muscle maintenance. Yes, even in a heart video, muscle matters, because low muscle mass is linked to worse metabolic health, and worse metabolic health worsens artery risk. Leafy greens and colorful vegetables are the repair crew. They bring potassium, magnesium, nitrates, and a wide range of plant compounds that support blood pressure and endothelial function. Walnuts are the lubrication. They provide polyunsaturated fats and other compounds that have been shown to support lipid improvements and aspects of vascular function. Extra virgin olive oil is the signal. It's not just fat calories, it's a delivery system for polyphenols that, in a Mediterranean pattern, is associated with better cardiovascular outcomes, and the vinegar or lemon is the steering wheel. It can help blunt the glucose rise of a meal and makes the whole bowl taste like food rather than like medicine. It also makes this meal easier to repeat, and repetition is what changes arteries. If you're thinking, but I thought oats are carbs and carbs are bad for arteries, here's the nuance. Carbs are not one thing. Refined carbs, white bread, sugary cereal, juice, pastries, are fast. They spike glucose, spike insulin, and often come with low fiber. Whole food carbs, packaged with viscous fiber, are slow. They feed you without punching your bloodstream. That's why you can see improvements in LDL and glucose control when the carb source is oats, barley, beans, or intact grains, especially when paired with fat and protein. This meal is not low carb, it's low damage. That's what matters for arteries. Now let's address the word you used, unclog. What changes first is not a dramatic before and after in a scan. What changes first is function. Many people notice that after a week or two of meals like this, they feel less heavy after eating, less sleepy, less pounding in the chest. Sometimes blood pressure readings start to settle, especially when the overall diet becomes less ultra-processed and more potassium-rich. Over the next month or two, you may see LDL improve, triglycerides improve, and fasting glucose stabilize, depending on your baseline and what else you're doing. And over time, lower LDL exposure and calmer inflammation change the plaque environment. Plaque growth slows. The cap can become more stable. That's not glamorous, but it's life-saving. Let's make it even more practical by giving you 3 real-world versions of the same meal, because the secret to artery health is not knowing what to do. It's doing it when life is messy. Version 1 is breakfast. Cook plain oats. Add ground flaxseed if you have it. Add walnuts and berries. That's the sweeter version. It's still powerful because you're hitting beta-glucan plus nuts plus berries. Version 2 is lunch. Use barley or leftover oats as a warm base. Add lentils, greens, olive oil, vinegar, herbs. This is the bowl version. Version 3 is dinner. If you want it to feel normal, make it a plate. Lentil salad with olive oil and vinegar, a side of steamed greens, a small portion of fish, and a serving of barley. Same signals, different shape. Your arteries don't care if it looks like a bowl. They care what message it sends. Now, I need to warn you about the mistakes that quietly cancel the benefits, because I've watched people do healthy things that are actually a trap. Mistake number 1, turning this into a sugar delivery system. If you take oats and pour in honey, brown sugar, syrup, or sweetened dried fruit, you've just turned a therapeutic base into a glucose spike. A little fruit is fine, but if the bowl tastes like dessert, your arteries won't get the same message. Fix. Keep sweetness natural. Use berries, cinnamon, vanilla. Let the walnuts add richness. Mistake number 2, choosing the wrong kind of oats. Many instant oat packets are basically flavored starch. They digest fast, they come with sugar, and they don't always give you the same fiber dose. Fix. Choose plain rolled oats, steel-cut oats, or oat bran, and build the flavor yourself. Mistake number 3, adding ultra-processed oils or fake health toppings. If you drizzle seed oil-based dressings full of additives, or you pair this with chips and bread, you dilute the effect. Fix. Keep the fat simple. Extra virgin olive oil, nuts, maybe avocado. Mistake number 4, Thinking one meal cancels an entire day of damage. I love this meal because it's powerful, but it's not a get-out-of-jail card. If the rest of the day is soda, pastries, and stress with 4 hours of sleep, you're trying to row a boat with one oar. Fix. Use this meal as an anchor. One consistent anchor often upgrades the rest of your day naturally because your cravings change when blood sugar is stable. Now let's talk about taste, because if it tastes like punishment, it won't become your Dr. One meal. Here's how to make it craveable. First, salt it correctly. Many people undersalt healthy food and then hate it. You don't need a lot, but a pinch matters, especially if you're not dealing with severe salt-sensitive hypertension. Second, add acid. Vinegar or lemon makes everything pop. Third, use herbs and garlic. Garlic powder is fine. Fresh garlic is great. Fourth, add crunch. Walnuts give you crunch and richness. Fifth, add warmth and color. Warm base, bright tomatoes, green spinach, orange peppers. Your brain eats with your eyes too. When the bowl looks alive, it feels satisfying. If you're thinking, Dr. Marlowe, I want something more normal. I don't want beans with oats. You can separate them. Make a classic lentil salad and eat oats at breakfast. The concept still holds. Viscous fiber daily, plus nuts, plus olive oil, plus legumes and vegetables. But I'm calling this the #1 best meal because it stacks those elements in one sitting, which is how you get a bigger effect with less complexity. You're not building a perfect week, you're building one reliable move. Now I'm going to give you the exact how much because vague advice doesn't change arteries. For the base, aim for a serving that gives you meaningful soluble fiber, plain oats or barley as your base, and if you can, include oat bran sometimes, because it's more concentrated. For nuts, a small handful of walnuts most days is enough. For olive oil, 1 tablespoon is a practical target. For legumes, half a cup to a full cup, depending on appetite and digestion. For vegetables, at least 1 to 2 cups. Yes, cups, because volume and minerals matter. And for acid, a tablespoon of vinegar or a squeeze of lemon. If you want fish, keep it modest, a small portion, not a giant steak. The goal is not more, the goal is consistent. Let me tell you what you might notice because this is where people get discouraged. Day 1, some of you will feel lighter after eating. Some will feel more full because fiber expands. Some of you, especially if your diet has been low in fiber, may feel gassy. That's normal. Your gut bacteria are adjusting. Don't panic and quit. Start smaller. Half a portion of beans, then build up. In week 1, many people notice fewer cravings for sweets in the evening. That's not willpower, that's stable glucose and better satiety. In weeks 2 to 4, you may notice your blood pressure readings becoming less jumpy and your energy after meals improves. If you're tracking labs, you may start seeing LDL move in the right direction within a month or 2, especially if this meal replaces a refined carb, processed fat meal. In months 2 to 3, the compounding effect shows up. Better consistency, better metabolic markers, and that feeling of, I'm not constantly fighting my body. That's when people say, it feels like my system is calmer. That calm is protective. Now I want to be very clear. This meal is not a substitute for medical care if you have significant disease. If you have chest pain, shortness of breath, one-sided weakness, or sudden changes in speech, that's emergency territory. If you've been told you have significant coronary disease, you need a plan with your clinician. But if you're looking for a daily lever that supports everything else you're doing, medication, walking, sleep, this is one of the best you can pull with your fork. Let's talk about the enemy because it helps to name it. The enemy is not fat. The enemy is the ultra-processed pattern. Refined starch plus added sugar plus industrial oils plus low fiber, eaten day after day, often paired with stress and short sleep. That pattern creates high LDL exposure, higher triglycerides, more inflammation, and worse endothelial function. And it makes your arteries behave older than they are. This meal is an antidote to that pattern. It's not a cleanse, it's a correction. Now, remember, I promised you one extra move at the end, the thing that makes this meal hit harder than it should. Here it is, a 10-minute easy walk after you eat. Not a workout, not sweating, just moving. When you walk after a meal, your muscles pull glucose out of the bloodstream more efficiently, you reduce the post-meal spike, and you create a friendlier environment for your endothelium. Think of it like opening extra lanes on a highway right when traffic is heavy. You don't need perfect shoes. You don't need a gym. You need 10 minutes around your home, up and down a hallway, or even marching gently in place if it's raining. If you do this after your Mediterranean portfolio bowl, you amplify the benefit. The meal sends the chemical message, the walk locks it in, and this is where the magic really happens. It's small enough that you'll actually do it, and small actions done consistently are what keep people independent into their 70s and 80s. So let's bring it home. If you want the number one best meal to support unclogging your arteries in the real science-based way, lowering LDL exposure, calming inflammation, improving vessel function, make the Mediterranean portfolio bowl your anchor. Use oats or barley for viscous fiber. Add lentils or beans for fiber and steady glucose. Add greens and colorful vegetables for minerals and vessel support. Add walnuts and extra virgin olive oil for protective fats and polyphenols. Add garlic and herbs for flavor. Add vinegar or lemon for that metabolic and taste edge. Finish with berries if you want sweetness. Then take a 10-minute walk, and do it often enough that your body starts to expect that message. You are not broken. Your arteries are not a doomed plumbing system. They're living tissue responding to your daily signals. If you want to start today, pick one version, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and make it happen once, just once. Then repeat it 3 times this week. If you do that, you're not trying a diet. You're practicing a protective ritual. And if you want, tell me which version you'll try first, the breakfast version, the bowl, or the dinner plate, because the best plan is always the one you'll actually repeat. And if you found this useful, and you want more practical science-based tools to stay strong and independent, consider subscribing. I'll keep these lessons simple, grounded, and focused on what actually works.